So this is absolutely insulting, and it's insulting to every citizen of this country, because every citizen nearly in this country, nearly would say 98% of every Irish person, if you ask them, believes that Ireland is a neutral country and would always be a neutral country. We shouldn't be. We should be able to defend ourselves. And we can defend ourselves. We've done it for years. We can do it again. And we don't need France, we don't need Germany, we don't need NATO, we don't need Russia, we don't need China, we don't need anyone. We need ourselves. And we need to invest in ourselves, be able to defend ourselves. We don't need to go cap in hand to the French, to the Germans, no matter who it is. We don't want them. We don't need their help. We can defend ourselves. We've done it before. We had to fight for our independence. Nobody came over here and looked after us and fought for independence. The Irish people themselves took up arms to defend their homelands, to fight for independence, and we should do so if any enemy ever comes to our shore. So the Irish, as you know, Irish government are taking over the EU presidency next year for a while. And the Irish government have gone cap in hand to the French government to look for a warship, even though we have our own ships that are all lying in port, nearly the majority of them are lying in port. And the problem is they won't pay the people to go onto the ships. They won't pay an Irishman, they won't pay an Irish woman to go and sail on the ships, to be on the ships, to defend Irish sovereignty and defend Irish waters. They're willing to go and look for the French to go and defend Irish sovereignty. Like, imagine saying that 100 years ago. You would be laughed out of the room, and so widely so. It's insane that we're going cap in hand to the French to look for help. And it's insulting that we have the Royal Air Force looking after our skies. It's insulting already that we have them doing it. We can't defend ourselves. We have to go cap in hand to another country, and another country to look for to defend us, defend a sovereign nation. It's absolutely insulting. It's insulting to the memory of people who fought for this country that we can't defend ourselves, that we're such freeloaders in a way, that we have to go cap in hand to Europe, to the European Union that already abuses enough. And we're going looking for more. We're going looking, asking them, we're pretty much asking them nearly to come and feed us, to be totally honest. Come and give us our breakfast in the morning. That's pretty much what's happening here nearly at this stage. Because at this stage, Ireland doesn't really exist as part of the European Union. It's nearly a cap in hand with the European Union. Ireland pretty much has no identity or sovereignty. We've given that all away, pretty much. We're now relying on other countries to come and defend us. It's absolutely insulting. And it should be insulting to every citizen. Because it is insulting, because also too they're looking for air cover from other European countries. And it's insulting to ask any country, regardless if it's Finland, regardless if it's Romania, regardless of who it is, Denmark. We shouldn't be going to any country, no matter who it is, or any country on earth, anywhere, China, Russia, whatever it may be. We don't need them. We have ourselves. We can invest in ourselves. We have the money. There's no such thing as no money. The country's rolling in it. The money's just not going to the right positions. And we can do it ourselves. We've done it before, we can do it again. We have stayed the course the last few years. We've survived the Second World War. And we're just what to be freeloaders, and that's what the government wants to do, be freeloaders and be pretty much being controlled by the European Union, etc., etc. Because that's pretty much what, because we're asking the French to look after us now, to defend ourselves. We should be able to do it ourselves. Like, what's stopping us? There's nothing stopping us if we put the money into it and we put time and effort. But see, the whole identity of this state, the whole government of this state, does not believe in that backwards looking idea of sovereignty. And that's the main problem. They don't believe that Ireland should be sovereign. They don't believe that Ireland should have its own defence forces. They don't believe in it. They don't believe that Irish people should have the right to defend themselves. And they don't believe in the whole identity of this state that's been fought for the last 100 years. They don't believe in it. It's simple as that. They want other countries. They want an EU army. They want EU. They want nothing to do with a backwards looking idea of sovereignty. And that means, we don't want an Irish Defence Forces Oakleigh and Heron. It was formed by Michael Collins, for example. They don't want that. They don't want any Irish Free State Army. They don't want anything to do with that. They don't want any of that history. They don't want any of that what was built back then. The foundations that were built. They don't want anything like that. They want just a soulless pit. And that's pretty much what's happening at the moment. But it is insulting. And I don't mean any insulting to any French or any person. But we shouldn't be going to any government. That's my point. We shouldn't be going cap in hand. I wouldn't expect the French government to come cap in hand to expect free stuff from us. It's simple as that. It's not acceptable. It shouldn't be acceptable. The French government should tell us to go stuff it. And to be rightly so. But the most likely they probably will. Because they consider we're, the president of the European Union, pretty much the president of security, like the EU security. The EU president, sorry, it's a very, but pretty much talking shit. That's the majority of what's been talked about. But it is insulting, and I think every Irish citizen should be insulted because there's so many jobs people could have here, so many Irish young people we could get them into the army. If we give them good pay and good conditions, it could be the best job in the country. Could make it, as they said years ago in the army, good pay and good food, and that's what a lot of Irish people need. A lot of young Irish people need coming out of college and stuff, coming out of secondary school. They're looking for opportunities. They're looking for something to keep them here in the state. And if we pay them, we have numbers. We have 20,000 probably in there. We have 10,000 literally in a few months. If we paid the army soldiers well, we've paid them good, decent wages. But we won't do that. We give it to the politicians. We give it to asylum seekers. But we won't give it to the Irish, Irish men and women that are willing to give up their lives to defend their country. We won't do that. As I say, backwards looking idea of sovereignty. That's the whole problem. That's the start of it all. Like the people in the defence force, the chief of staff, etc., etc. I think there's still this narrative that a backwards looking idea of sovereignty and all that. Because Micheál Martin's the Taoiseach and this is his idea. So pretty much the people, the chief of staff and stuff like that, if I was the chief of staff of the Defence Force, or the Irish Defence Force, I would be tearing Micheál Martin apart every day of the week about getting rid of him, because he's no addition. He's no addition, especially somebody with that attitude, the backwards looking idea of sovereignty. It just goes to show you the whole identity of the government, that they don't care about Irish defence, they don't care about anything to do with Irish sovereignty or Irish independence or anything to do with the military or the navy or the air corps. They don't care. So that sums it up very nicely. That what Micheál Martin said, they don't believe in it. And I keep saying it because I have to emphasise it. That's the whole identity of defence policy in this country. We don't want anything to do with sovereignty. And we don't want to be able to defend ourselves. We want to be reliant on the European Union. And that's pretty much what Micheál Martin said. We're fully committed to the ideas of the European Union. But as I say, it is insulting. And I don't mean any offence to any French or German or anybody. It is insulting that we have to go, and even for example, British people, the Royal Air Force, we shouldn't be asking them. We fought 800 years to get the British Army out of Ireland. We shouldn't be going looking for them to come over and defend our skies. It's insulting. It's not even that. It's insulting to the British taxpayer that their money has to be spent to protect Irish skies. Like, why do I pay my taxes? The money not good enough. Like, they're just sending money away. The money goes into a black hole here. And it's the fact of the matter, there's money. There's no such thing as there's no money. There's money. But it is insulting. It is insulting. It should be insulting to every citizen. And I hope they change their mind, the Irish government, and get their head out of the walls. That'd be the thing. As the great woman behind me said, we can defend ourselves. We have to invest in our own capabilities to defend our sovereignty. But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more, and bye.